Hi, my name is Chioma and welcome to my channel. I'm making this video because first before I give birth, I did look up lots of videos on YouTube to see if I could get something that could prepare me for motherhood. Yes, I did. I did lots. Oh my god, I did lots of browsing. I did. Yes. And the truth is, you can never ever be prepared. You can never ever be prepared for what comes with having a child, especially if you're a first time mom. Even people who've had their second child, third child, they always know that you can never ever be prepared enough for this. But there are some things that honestly I wish I knew. And if I did, I'll probably have lots of peace of mind dealing with with these issues, and I'm going to share some of them with you. One thing I'm going to talk about is breastfeeding. Oh my. That comes with a lot of mental stress that you didn't know ever existed. Yeah, that's by the way. I'm laughing about it now, but trust me, I cried when I stopped producing milk. Okay, so the first time after giving birth, I produced the first very thick yellow milk, right? And it was just, I don't think I even got up to 10 ml. My milk supply went out. I was in the hospital then because I delivered through C-section, and I was still at the hospital at that time. As a mom, it's frustrating when you know that you can't feed your little one. Like, oh my god, why is my milk not, why is there no supply? It's tiring, it's stressful, it's everything not nice that you can imagine. It really worried me at that point in time. So I really wish I had known that at that point that it would definitely start producing milk at some point. So first day, second day, third day I was in the hospital. I was discharged. I came home with my little baby, and I was just cuddling him this day. I think it was the second day we got back. I was cuddling him. At that point, he was having formula. Yes, he was taking formula at that point in time. The hospital gave me some formulas that I was feeding him then. So when I got back home, I was just cuddling with my baby, and then both of them just started flowing like morning tap water. Like, I was so overwhelmed. I was so happy. I quickly ran to my husband in the kitchen. I was like, oh my god. Yes, I was so happy, right? And yes, that was how my milk supply started. That was how I started producing milk for my baby, right? If I had known that I would still be able to produce milk, I wouldn't really have worked myself up that much, right? I wouldn't have. All you have to do is cuddle with your baby. Once you come back, rest. If you want producing the first day, just rest, come back, still give him the breast milk to suck. He needs to learn how to suck, and that's it. It's eventually going to start flowing. Yes, fountain. These things I'm sharing with you are not to scare you, but to prepare you. These things I'm sharing with you are not to scare you, but to prepare you to prepare your mind so you don't find yourself overthinking, thinking you're not doing enough, thinking you're not enough, thinking something is wrong with you. It's just for you to know that some of these things are normal. You're not the only one experiencing it, and this is what I did, and this is how it finally happened. Some of these things actually just come on their own, just like the breast milk thing, right? And secondly, still on the breast milk, is that first month I was feeding fine, my baby was feeding, I was producing enough. Sometimes I would put breast pad and it's all soaked, all wasted. Like, I was literally wasting milk, and I didn't know I was literally wasting milk because I was not pumping. For some reason, I didn't feel like pumping. I mean, I had a pumping machine, but I wasn't pumping because I felt, well, I'm having breast milk. I want to feed my baby directly. There is no need for it. When I resume work, I'll start pumping at this time. Let me feed him directly. Everything I said. And eventually, within the second month, there was this incident. My breast milk just stopped. And then it came back. Like, it was like short supply, and then it came back. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I was stressed, I was tired. And I still continued with my method of not pumping. And eventually, at some point, it entirely stopped. Like, I wasn't producing anything. Like, my baby would get upset feeding. And it really worried me. I tried so many things. I watched so many YouTube videos. I was so worried. There was this tea I got. I would share the link. It helped. It did help me at some point. But what I learned from all the research I did and everything I tried is that for every quantity of milk you're able to produce or pump depends on the amount of calories you take into your body. Yes. So food is very, very important. I can't overemphasize. There's no too much emphasis needed to be placed on this. It's food. Yes, food, eat. And not just anything. Snack on nuts instead of having junks when you're like, because when you're breastfeeding you're always hungry. Yes, instead of having junks or biscuits or stuff like, snack on nuts, almond nuts, cashew nuts. Snack on them. Have enough calories, because all these walnuts, they all have lots of calories packed in them, and it's even very good for your baby's brain. So you're doing so much at the same time having nuts. So have nuts. Yes, very important for breast milk. And hydrate. Drink lots of water, because the food you're having needs to metabolize. It needs to produce the calories, and it needs water for all that. So drink water, hydrate. If you need to make yourself have water, then get bottles that are like really cute. I do that. I get like really cute bottles. I'm like, oh, this bottle is really cute. Oh, I'll have water. Yes, just get something. Just one way or the other, find a way to get yourself to drink water while feeding. And another thing you need to have is spinach. Spinach is very important. Green leaves, especially spinach. I've really witnessed what spinach can do. You blend it with milk and you have it. Just blend it with milk and have it. It works very, very well. It helps your milk supply. And something you should never ever do is just breastfeeding without pumping. It's very important to pump. It's demand and supply, right? That's the process. That's how it works. If you don't pump, if your breast produces a certain number of milk and you don't extract all of them out, it gets this signal like, oh, I made too much, I'll cut down. You see, that's the problem. But if after your baby feed you pump all the time, pump between feeds. After feeding you pump, he feeds, you pump. You keep doing that. You pump and store. Breast milk literally stays in the in the freezer for 3 months. Yes, it does. It lasts that long. Just make sure it's frozen. Don't leave it in the refrigerator. No, don't freeze it. It stays for 3 months. Just pump and store. It's more like saving for the rainy days. You will definitely need them. So if not for the demand and supply, in situations when you notice your milk supply is dropping, you still feed, and then you also still have milk stored somewhere that you could give your baby. So that way you have peace of mind. You're not worried that your baby is not having food, because you're doing the needful. He's feeding, you're breastfeeding. You get my point, right? So yes, very important. That's all about breastfeeding. The second thing is skin reactions on children. Well, my baby at some point started developing dry spots on his body, like some parts of his body are like dry, and I really got worried. Took him to the GP, and that was when I realized that at first I wasn't really getting a specific answer. It all felt like it was normal, right? Until I spoke to a pharmacist that told me if I should moisturize. Yes, one of the GPs actually did tell me to moisturize, but it didn't record in my head that that is actually the issue. I felt okay, maybe because I didn't moisturize him properly before taking him to the hospital, and he felt, oh, he needs moisture. He did prescribe some body lotions that I am currently using for him right now. You need to moisturize your little baby all the time, especially if you are in a cold region. My problem was I stay in the UK and it's cold, right? You need to moisturize your baby always, because the weather is dry. He needs everything you can do for his body to retain moisture all the time. Don't let his skin stay dried. Don't let his skin be dry or be looking all ashy. At the end of the day, he might end up getting some reactions on his skin that will probably give you a lot of worry. So please moisturize him. His skin is going to, his or her skin, so I have a baby boy, that's why I keep saying his or her skin is going to keep glowing and looking good. Skincare is not just for grown-up, it's for babies as well. And the key to their skincare is just moisturize them and you're good. The next thing I wish I knew is allowing their body to receive breeze. Very important. Especially with the whole diaper thing. They wear diaper 24 hours, no breeze. Not advisable. You need to let his butt breathe. His or her butt. Sorry. So just take out the diapers once in a while. They can make a mess when you do. My son literally like enjoy. Peas all over the whole place. And another thing still on breastfeeding. There is so much that you need to know about, that needs to be known about this breastfeeding thing. Is another thing you need to know is boobs. Sorry. Is feed on both boobs. Don't just always find yourself feeding at one. Maybe on one, maybe it's more comfortable, and then you find yourself feeding only on one side. Please feed on both sides so you don't end up like me. My husband said it's improper fraction. Just feed on both boobs. Don't put yourself through that. Feed on both boobs so one boob don't end up being bigger than the other. It might take a while to fix. Fourth thing you need to know is there's no need to be afraid of epidural. Yeah. I was really worried about getting one, as I felt I wanted to give birth naturally. I wanted to be strong. My dear, please do yourself a favor. If you know that you cannot handle the pain, or you feel your pain threshold is small, please request for it. Or even if you feel that you want to give birth naturally, and at that point you're beginning to notice that it's painful, go. My point is, if your only reason for not opting for epidural is because you're scared of permanent damages or side effects, there is none. I wish I knew that. I would have opted for epidural from the beginning and not go through what I did go through. I was begging for epidural halfway. There's no side effect. I'm fine. My back is okay. My posture is good. My spine is fine. Nothing is damaged. I wish I knew that. Please. Last but not the least thing I'll point out is C-section is not laziness. I was literally everywhere. I was working till I gave birth August. I delivered August 19th, right? And I stopped work 28th of July. Yes. So I was literally going to work. I was very active. I was everywhere. I was always jumping, doing everything. But at the end of the day, I ended up giving birth to a C-section, right? So it has nothing to do with whether you're lazy or not. It can happen to anybody that is active. It can happen to someone who's not active. It's not laziness. So don't feel bad, don't feel down if at the end of the day you have to give birth to a C-section. It could be anything. It could be, for my situation, my husband is tall, my baby ended up being tall, and you know, yeah. So yeah, you get the point. So these ones, they're not exactly I'll just add them. Further tips is, don't stress yourself about inducing labor. Just don't stress yourself about it. What did I not try? I ate pineapple, I drank olive oil. Well, long story short, please don't stress yourself trying to induce labor naturally. If you try and it's not working, don't stress yourself. Just go to the hospital, opt for an induction. It can be induced at the hospital. You can opt for that. Please don't stress yourself. Don't drink castor oil. I did not drink that. I did see that it could cause diarrhea, so I didn't bother. You probably, some people might not know and just can gulp castor oil. And I heard it causes very painful contractions. Be careful. And further points to add is, I did cook and store right before I had my baby, so cooking was not exactly a problem. And also my husband could cook, yeah, but still cook and store. You both might end up being very, very busy. And last but not the least, you're not ugly. You are not ugly. I repeat, you are not ugly. Don't go about like me. I literally called my husband when I was pregnant, my first trimester, and I said, do you still love me? I feel like I look ugly. Don't be me. Don't be me. I'm embarrassed about it till today. Because when I looked back at all those pictures of myself when I was pregnant, and I was cute. Yes, I was cute. I feel it's hormones. It's basically your hormones. You cry about everything, and somehow there's this notion that there's just this stereotype that once you're pregnant you start getting ugly. Please don't key into that stereotype. Look fine. Look fine is, you have to put effort into it. Don't leave your hair scattered. Dress it properly. Have your hair made properly. Wear good clothes. You're not ugly. It's that simple. So thank you so much for your time. I tried to make it as brief as possible. I hope it worked. I hope I didn't bore you out. But these are the things that you should really, I wish I knew, and I hope you found it very helpful. And good luck. If you are pregnant at the moment, good luck, all the best. I know you can't wait to see your little baby. Cute pictures very soon. Then take cute pictures of them. You're going to be obsessed. Yes. And if you have a baby currently going through any of these things, relax, calm down. There's a solution to everything. You don't have to stress yourself about everything.